Hey lore masters, so in my last Time War video, I went over the genesis of the Daleks. Unfortunately, because it was a focus on the Time War and not the Doctor, there were quite a few events that were Doctor specific that I had to skim over. I wanted to take a moment to do a video that focused specifically on the Fourth Doctor and to really explore if he's a hero, a coward, or somewhere in between. So let's just get into it. Genesis of the Daleks honestly is an episode that epitomizes old Doctor Who. I would say that the Doctor here, and then maybe the next two Doctors, give us an adequate idea of who and what the old Doctor Who was and was about. And for new Doctor Who, we just need to take a look at the 9th, 10th, and 11th Doctor to give us a better idea of what a post-war Doctor is. The 12th Doctor, in my opinion, has become an amalgamation of the two, but I haven't watched all of Capaldi or even most of Capaldi. This is just based on the little tidbits that I've seen. However, the differences in the Doctors, at least, again, the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 9th, 10th, and 11th, are quite striking. This is partially in part due to the change of audiences and what people like on television, but I can't help but give a little credit to the writing of, well, the writers of the different eras of the shows. I use of a lot. In Genesis of the Daleks, we see a few constants that we see in New Doctor Who as well. The Doctor is initially unwilling to commit atrocities or violence. In fact, the Fourth Doctor's first answer to a request by the Time Lords is quite simply no. However, this changes when the stakes are put in front of him. I think it is easier to talk the Fourth Doctor into going to war than it would be the 8th, 9th, or 10th. Now, you might be able to make an argument that the war aspects we see in the Fourth Doctor is still somewhat a part of Eccleston's Doctor, but by Tennant, this is definitely not true. In fact, Tennant's Doctor is portrayed as a solemn warrior, a man with power who won't, or perhaps is afraid, to use it. We see this in the episode Human Nature, where he hides for the benefit of his enemies and not himself. Though he does put his companion into a lot of danger, so you can make your own decision on that. So the Fourth Doctor is more than willing to use violence, and is not necessarily against war. Again, in the episode Genesis of the Daleks, he goes through quite a few revelations and traumas. One of the most telling situations is when he is talking with Davros. He asks Davros if he had the power to kill everything with a simple vial that would destroy all life, would Davros do it? When Davros says yes, the Doctor grabs him and commits what is torture, until Davros acquiesces and orders for the Daleks to destroy themselves. In this scene, he is not against torture. He's not against having someone else kill the Daleks. In fact, it's kind of twisted. If Davros is the creator, indeed father of the Daleks, he is having a man kill his own creation, under torture. And then not much after that, he's seen having issues coming to grips with genocide. He literally was about to do it, just through someone else's hands. The Fourth Doctor never had an issue with genocide as long as he was doing it secondhand. In a scene earlier, when both cities had been destroyed, he had talked about how survivors would have to go to war to defeat the Daleks. In fact, if we go back earlier than that, before he's telling survivors to go to war, if we juxtapose that against when he believes the Thals have killed his friends, he doesn't directly wish revenge on them. He's solemn. He doesn't want to fight. No, he has a job to do. He's not going to get revenge. He's going to destroy the Daleks. And that's one of the things I do enjoy. The Doctor does have common traits between old Doctor Who and new Doctor Who. The Doctor rarely wants revenge. Unless you're dealing with Mary Sue's, I'm not even going to get into that. At the end of this multi-part arc, he's seen smiling, or at least smirking, and saying that this will bring people together, and that the Daleks have been set back thousands of years. Yet he had a chance to keep his world from burning if he had destroyed them. Hindsight being 20/20, of course. Ultimately, whether done by accident or not, I think that this Doctor is somewhat of a coward. But this is the beginning of his hero's journey. We see him progress through the war to become the warrior until he sees what he has wrought and becomes the Doctor again, but a broken shell of what the Doctor is. And from there he recovers, from being the warrior to the Doctor having to live with what he did, to the redemption of his sins, and ultimately to going back to who he was. Only a wiser version, perhaps a much more patient version. It's honestly a beautifully done arc, but I wouldn't expect anything else from this series. So is the Doctor a hero? Is he a coward? I've already answered that, but I look forward to showing how he goes from a coward to a warrior to the Doctor again. So be sure to stay tuned, because we're going to be taking the next step in this time war.